all you crazy cats and kittens out there in pod person land. Welcome back to another episode of Stand-Up Teardown. I'm your host, Sean Fau, and joining me as always is my lovely co-host, Mr. Matthew Ballek.
Hey, it's great to be here. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Wow. That's too much. Oh, it's great to be here. I wish I had that kind of energy. I'm rocking some Celestial Seasonings Tension Tamer tea.
Oh, wow.
Love that alliteration. So keeping it calm and cool today.
I go the other way, straight up caffeine. But that's pretty much all the energy you're going to get out of me today. So everything else.
That's what makes us work, that dichotomy.
Yeah. We're going to take a look at some more comedians today. We got a few, two tree guys set up here.
Yeah, exactly. Not quite a cacophony of comics, but yeah, I do have three picked out that I picked out with the scientific process of looking for stand-up special full on YouTube. Try to mix it up, get a nice little random sampling of demographics, hopefully. So I've not seen any of these myself, so we're doing it live. We're going in blind and just watching some stand-up, tearing it down.
Right on. And let's see if we can actually do things that are less dumb. All right, here.
That would be ideal. Can I talk about our first comic that we're pulling up?
Sure, be a good idea.
This would be the Atlanta-based, Kentucky-born stand-up comedian Katherine Blanford, self-described as a human golden retriever. I'm guessing she's bringing in some Southern charm, growing up stories, her unique perspective, that kind of stuff.
Right on.
So we have a showcase of her at one of these pop-up stand-up shows that I'm blanking on the name of, but excited to give it a jump. Oh,
yeah. Didn't turn off my phone. Oh, well. Let's see if we can actually watch some stand-up here then.
This is insane. Everyone here is so young and hot. And it's just nice to fit in somewhere. Well, y'all look rich, and that's where we differ. I don't know. I've had a lot of life decisions that led me to this point, and I do shows every night, and after every show I go and I sit in my car and I pull down that little mirror and I look at myself in the mirror and I say, Katherine, you're so cute. You could have sold medical equipment.
we pause right there for a sec. I mean,
I don't.
Yeah,
is it just me? I feel like she's got a bit of like an Ellen DeGeneres kind of cadence, like early Ellen, EE.
I feel like it's more like in the voice tone than the cadence. Like, I feel like Ellen was a little bit more like droney, but like they definitely have a very similar voice to them. I don't remember being a huge fan of Ellen's stand-up, but she was definitely a staple of the late night comedy 30-minute showcases, your Carolines and Evening at the Improv, and all those when stand-up was huge on cable.
Oh yeah, I was an early Ellen fan. Like her first Carson appearance, Phone Call to God. That was like an iconic classic bit from Ellen before she became like a mega star that everyone loves to hate.
Well, she became kind of someone that everyone loves, and then everyone loves to hate, and now I think everyone just hates her. Like,
yeah, I think kind of went full circle.
Yeah, there was a lot of like hatred and animosity from like her crew and stuff. So like, it kind of came out that she was sort of a horrible person to work for, as far as I understand. But
yeah, I think that's what turned the tides there for poor Ellen. But I'm getting some early poor Ellen, getting some early Ellen when Ellen was loved vibes. The fun-loving Ellen vibes for this comic thus far. Digging the opening, kind of sets up her personality.
Yeah,
with the looks as well.
Decent energy, decent intro, somewhat self-deprecating, but definitely kind of enjoying the moment, even though it is self-deprecating. But
I love it. Yeah, let's get back to
where it went wrong. I think so hot, and I can't, distractingly hot. So if you could move. I grew up a horse girl. We got any other white freaks in here? Of course you are. Of course you are. You're like, yeah, I was a horse girl, and then I grew into a horse lady, and I'm a palomino. Cool. Okay. Beautiful horse hair. Cool. And then your stallion over here. Thank you so much for rubbing that in my face. Did you ride here? Look at you eating your little oats over there. Shut up. Shut up. Get in your fucking stable right now. You hot bitch. And I was a horse girl. I was obsessed with horses growing up, but my parents, they didn't want to get me a horse. Or they didn't want to pay for horseback riding lessons. So me and my friends, we were just horses for each other. You remember these horse girls? You remember these girls? Oh, the recess bell would ring and they... You got in their way, they let you know, right? Dude, we took horse girl real seriously. We only had to put down one girl.
Yeah, she seems like she's like almost stumbling through her own jokes, like I'm stumbling through this fucking diagnosis here. Like it's an awkward cadence. It's like just like an awkward person sort of persona. But I guess that seems to sort of fit with what she's going with already.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like a little fish out of water kind of vibe. But yeah, she's also just kind of reading the room too and reacting to that. So it clearly looks like some sort of, I don't know, California, maybe upper crust kind of crowd.
Yeah. Let's see where I mean, unfortunately, she's falling into that trap of kind of like repeating the same joke over and over again, or the same sort of like constantly resetting the premise, even though we are already there. It's well, let's see if she finds herself.
And I got sent to the principal for that. What? And the principal was like, "Now, why does Kelly keep saying you euthanized her?" I was like, well, first of all, her name is Lightning Bolt. Respect the fallen. And you know what happened. She was the first to start her period. So she swelled up to double D's. And she couldn't gallop anymore. That and my crush had a crush on her because, you know, she had that strong chest. She was a Clydesdale. You remember your high school boyfriend? That was my life growing up. We would have middle school mixers. I was in middle school too. I'm not a pervert. I remember my first middle school mixer I showed.
Laughing at her own joke.
Yeah, a little bit of that. I'm also like maybe lost on the girls acting as horses. Is that like an actual thing that happened in the South? Or is that just kind of like playing up the ridiculous? Like it's just sort of a made up premise of like being not able to afford horses or have horses.
Yeah, I mean, I could certainly see it happening, but it's not known to me as being a, you know, rite of passage or something that happens on every playground. I feel like it's
just lost on me because it's not part of the region where I went to school where there were girls in my class acting like horses. So
yeah,
maybe the joke is that they did that, but it just makes it seem like, you know, that there were these girls, right? So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's why I feel like I wasn't laughing as much because it's just. I'm like, is that a thing? I was just more in my head.
Yeah, these sort of you kind of have to buy into the premise in order to continue with it or to find the humor in it. Like, I mean, at least she had a couple of decently constructed punchlines there, but I think at least I'm already, you know, kind of lost in the premise. Like, I feel like I grew up in a fairly affluent enough area that there were horse girls, but I don't recall that doing horsery activities. The horseplay was usually a boy thing, and that's not the same thing at all. But pony play is a whole other thing, and we won't get into that.
And all the other girls showed
Thank
up, and
you.
they had their Abercrombie and Fitch spring collection on. You know what I mean? They had that little moose right here on their shirt, right? And I showed up in my Dress Barn Juniors. I had a little squirrel right here in my shirt. Sometimes we got lucky. My mom would dress us an American Eagle knockoff. That was dope because it'd be a little eagle right here, right? With a little squirrel and its talons right here. And I remember my first mixer, all the girls gathered in the gymnasium and they started playing Lil Jon and all the girls started twerking, right? But it was real stiff. We were white Catholics. You've seen a litter of scared puppies before. It was my first time seeing what twerking was. I'd never seen it. The only other dance I'd been to before that was the father-daughter dance. And they didn't have that there.
Maybe it's an age thing. She's obviously quite a bit younger than we are, so maybe the pony play was a playground pastime post our
generation.
I was looking for a P word, but I couldn't find it. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Postpartum?
That's
Nope.
postpartum educational. No, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I'm thinking not only is it a gender specific comedy, but also an age specific comedy at this point. Like,
Agreed. I don't think we're the target demo for her comedy.
That doesn't mean we can't
but
find
we
it
can
funny.
still laugh at it. I could still find it funny.
Yeah,
I'm having a great time with it.
Jesus Christ.
I was watching them, and as I was watching them, the boys would come up behind them and they do that night dance. And I'm learning this, and as I'm watching them, this boy comes up behind me, this little bottom feeder comes up looking for the night dance, right? I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this, but I'm real white, okay? A beet is just a vegetable to me. So I was like, all right. So what I did, I just danced out the actual words of the song. I was just like, okay, to the window, and I just did a little square to the wall. I got real stiff. All that sweat dropped down. I just did a sad W, balls. And the whole time that boy's pelvis just had a hard time guessing where I was headed to next. Till eventually he had to detach, so he could puke from motion sickness. Everybody else was grinding. I was just doing Yin Yang Twins Pictionary.
I have no idea what that even means.
Yep, I'm not following the analogy either, but it got some chuckles. So people found the connection. Yeah, I'm getting some analogies, some wordplay jokes in there. A lot of reference material that we're just not catching the references, so it's not going to hit with us.
Maybe. I mean, it feels like just all energy-based comedy. Like almost, she's kind of got that the funniest girl in the friend group sort of vibe more than a polished stand-up, really. Like it just, it's all just kind of like awkward energy that like it's, because it's high energy and bubbly, like you're just kind of laughing along or going along with it more so than certainly not gut busting as we talked about in the previous episode.
Totally. Yeah, it's very character comedy. She's got that quirky, fun energy. So yeah, I'm watching like sort of like a sitcom character's like monologue of some sort here. So I'm engaged, but I'm also like kind of smiling and nodding like I don't follow it, but I also don't want to be left out.
Exactly. Yeah, I want to find it funny. Like she's going through the motions, and she's like you said, she's creating the characters, but there's just not really jokes in there.
Right? She's so confident and good on stage. Like I blame myself for not laughing. It's like I'm sitting here with like my mouth like with a dumb grin. Like it's gonna happen. I'm gonna start laughing.
Yeah, I blame you too.
Somebody one time was like, you were interpretive dancing. I was like, no, I was interruptive dancing. I interrupted that young man's boner.
She was expecting a much bigger laugh there.
Next, I feel like she maybe could have hit on that with maybe a different like setup about why she was dancing so weird, or about how like maybe guys at these dances, like their MO was to just grind on them. Like maybe I missed that in my like dumbfounded smiling, but
Nah, I feel like she really missed the setup there. Like there could have been a little bit more to that, but yeah, just
because then the moves would have been funny, because then you could picture like a guy trying to get his like
yeah,
his groin in position, and if she keeps moving in a very like different angles and bizarre ways, like I think that would have gotten more laughs from the physicality of it and like the visuals of someone trying to follow it. And I think she like kind of touched on that after she was done doing the awkward dances, and then because of that kind of buried the laugh moments.
Yeah, exactly. She buried the lead. It was out of order, I think, for its funniest incarnation, really. Yeah, setting it up first would have helped, I think, structure that a lot better.
Grew up Catholic. I'll only date Catholics. This is why. I was dating a guy in college one time, and he took me to meet his older sister, and I thought she was real cool because she was real cool. And I was real new. Like I was green. I'd never done a drug before in my life. And we get there, and she's like, "Y'all drove a long way. You want to hit this bowl?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm starving." I was like, "What kind of chia seeds is this?" And she was like, "This is marijuana." And I was like, "Oh man, I wish I could, but I just did a lot of melatonin." And as you can see, because my hands are melting. And she goes, "Oh, don't worry, girl, I got you. I'll shotgun you." Right? And I was like, "Oh, I know we just met, but I'm good. I'm kind of liberal." And nevertheless, she persisted. And so if you don't know what shotgunning is, it's because you're a nerd. You know, she just made the chamber with her hands, right? My mouth on one end, her mouth on the other, and then she took a sip right from the devil's teeth, right? And then into my mouth, she just blew just a gust of witchcraft, and I passed out. And a lot of people say when they thought they died, they saw the light. I didn't see the light, but I thought I died because I woke up in the Catholic church that I'd grown up in. I was wearing my like Catholic school uniform. It was the dirty part. And the only other person in the church was Jesus. And I knew that he'd just see me doing drugs because he was looking at me so disappointed. You know, he was just like... You know, he just threw his arms out. You know, he's just like, oh man, you know, sorry.
I wonder if that joke doesn't land because it was a wide shot. Like, I feel like we needed to be closer into her facial expression on that for that joke to land properly.
The crucifix pose?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we need to see the face. Yeah, the head tilt kind of sold it a little bit. But yeah, I think we needed more facial expression. I would agree with that a bit. But
then maybe you lose the crucifix pose completely if you're too close. I don't know. It's just not landing right. Like it's just all energy and like very little craft, really.
Oh man, yeah. And before I could ask for forgiveness, I really woke up because his sister had splashed me in the face with her red wine, and I was like, "Oh, I've been saved by the blood of Christ." She's like, "No, it's Pinot Noir from Kroger. We're Jewish, bitch." Do y'all have Kroger out here? No? No, y'all don't know what I'm talking about?
Shit.
Cool. Well, it's the poor grocery store. I'm from the South. My parents are cousins. And that actually is true. I took one of those tests. I was like, "Dad, why is mom's cousin on your side?" And he was like, "Eat your meatloaf." And
it went from like hack to be like, oh, if that's actually true, then I'll allow it.
Yeah. That was a fairly well constructed joke there. Still, I guess I'm too already in the not in her camp to like really find this it as funny as it actually was, or to laugh as much as I should have there. I mean, it was a decent joke. It's just not landing, unfortunately.
I agree. I can understand her like appeal, and I think it is just a lot of like confidence. Like, man, she really could be in like medical equipment sales with that kind of like bubbly attitude.
Yeah.
And and confidence the way she's delivering these bits. And yeah, she's got a very like quirky, awkward style too.
Yeah,
Like,
she's
if
the
you were to
most
look
fun
at
girl at the party.
yeah.
But
Yeah, like the captions would have a lot of like words that are not fully finished in the sentence.
yeah. Well, I think you kind of nailed it earlier. I think she'd be a good sitcom character, but I don't think the presence is there. But again, the structure and just the actual joke writing, I think is very lacking here. Should we give her a little more time, or should we move on?
Let's give her like let's see one more bit, and then we'll move on to our next comic.
Right.
I want to just try.
This is true. I did find that out.
I really want to find her funny.
I was upset when I found out. I should tell you that. And I wasn't mad that it happened. I do not blame my parents. They were very young when they met. It was puppy love, same litter. Dude, I was just mad. I didn't find out until I was 26 years old. I was like, yo, I could have used this when I was younger. You know, imagine the scholarships I could have gotten. I didn't know I was diverse, you know? I just wish I would have known for this one situation. Like this, it was always like, remember when it was like elementary school and you go to your first day to class and the teacher would be like, okay guys, it's our first day, let's all get to know each other, right? And she'd be like, go around and tell us your name and tell us an interesting fact. You know, and I didn't know I was special. I was like, I don't know, we got 2 gerbils, we can't find one. My dad has eczema. You know, I didn't have anything cool. There was always those kids that couldn't wait to be called on. I remember one time this kid raised his hand. He was like, I'm bilingual. And we were in Kentucky, so we didn't know what that meant. But we knew he was a spy. I just wish I could have been like, oh yeah? Well, my cousin is me!
Again, a decent punchline there, but I think it just like, it meanders too much, or just, yeah, it doesn't quite get to where it needs to go quick enough. Not sure.
Yeah, for me, it's just not the jokes just aren't hitting for me is hard, but it just seems like some like very endearing like self-deprecation, and there are some good moments here or there, like puppy love, same litter is just kind of a funny twist on that, with like wordplay or whatnot. But yeah, again, I just don't think it's like we're the demographic for her stand-up. And then, I also think, just her charm and energy is just getting her a lot of passes on the material as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
or it's like the audience is almost like laughing like at her instead of with her at some of the stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Like, again, that's part of that awkward comedy sort of thing. You know, it's like it does ride that line of, are you with me or are you just laughing at me sort of thing. And I think you're right there. Most of the laughs are coming almost out of like pity, almost out of being in the room with that energy is amusing more so than what's actually happening.
But yeah, I would agree with that as well. Like it's some of it's just also coming from the energy in the room, or what was I going to say about like just because she's so friendly looking that you just like they want her to succeed, and like she's exuding like the confidence of a very like seasoned stand-up. So it's like they're like just going along with it. Like
it's almost hot girl privilege.
A little bit. Maybe I didn't want to say that, but yeah, it could be a little bit.
Right on. Well, let's move on here. Who do we got up next now?
Oh, well, this one should be up our alley more because it seems like an angry white guy.
Right on.
This is Louis Katz. Have you ever heard of him?
It sounds familiar.
Right? There's names in there like Dr. Katz and Louis C.K. So exactly. I feel like those are coming together for me. And I think when I found this on YouTube, part of the title was like the best comedian you've never heard of. And so I'm like, we'll see about that. But he seems to have some good credits from like praise from Dave Attell, Ali Wong, Mark Maron have all like mentioned his joke writing prowess. And yeah, it seems to be like a comedian's comedian. And, so comedians like him. But yeah, it is described as having sort of a cerebral filth. So again, I've not watched this, but I was interested to see what he's bringing to the table and see if we can get some, tight crafted jokes. If Dave Attell's, speaking highly of him.
It'd be a nice juxtaposition, but sometimes that comedian's comedian is like, it can go bad. Sometimes it's almost that comedians find them funny just because they're doing shit that comedians don't do. And it's like, well,
yes, that's so true. So true.
But let's take a look here.
I've been having some problems in the bedroom with my lady. But we've been talking it through, and we decided, maybe we're a little too vanilla.
Already a clear setup. I feel like we're already making progress.
Does not waste
here.
any time, right?
Yeah.
I start pushing our boundaries a little bit, experiment. And we decided to do that. We decided to try something neither of us had tried before. A little something called doggy style. Okay, a few people familiar. Doggy style, that's where she tricks me into going down on her by putting peanut butter on her pussy.
See, regardless of how offended you are by that joke, I think it's
Completely offended. No.
Well, it's just a well-crafted joke, and the setup is clear. We're going in one direction, and then bam, I take you the opposite direction or to somewhere that you weren't expecting, and it's still a decent punchline. Like, yeah, we're already in well-crafted joke territory here.
Yeah, I'd say it falls right into the cerebral filth category as well, with the with the sort of twist on doggy style, and we're getting peanut butter into the mix, a different dog style.
Absolutely.
Doggy style. Sorry, we got a peanut allergy up here. I'm sorry, dude. I wrote that joke in March 2020. I had to wait a whole year to tell that stupid-ass joke. 12 months of that bullshit rattling around in my head, man. It was really tough on me going that year without comedy, man, because my friends, they all got husbands, wives, kids. I got jokes. That's it. Because I'm the single one of the crew, whenever they do get married, they turn to me to plan their bachelor parties. I got all the qualifications. I'm single, I'm sleazy, and I'm organized. That's what it takes. You want to plan a bachelor party, you better know your way around a strip club and a spreadsheet. It's a weird tradition, right? The bachelor party, when you think about it. Basically, you're celebrating somebody getting married by coming very close to just ruining that marriage. It's kind of like celebrating getting a new job by sending a racist tweet.
That's good.
By the time my parents celebrated having a son by chopping off just a little bit of my penis.
Yeah, this is. I feel like we're falling into the trap I set up at the beginning of the comedian's comedian. Like, yeah, it's well structured jokes, it's good, but like, I think people like him just because he's doing the thing that you're not expecting, or just taking it that extra level of, I guess, going blue without profanity.
I can totally see that, and I'll have to see how far his bits go. But yeah, if they're saying it's like filthy in ways, I think that's why he's the comedian's comedian, because like you get those laughs of almost embarrassment where you're like, I can't believe he's just said that in front of real people.
That's. I think that is actually hits it on the head. Why I am trepidatious about comedians, because a lot of the times it's just about making the audience feel weird or awkward, and that's what they find funny.
That's what comedians love, right?
Yeah.
Someone else make the audience feel awkward. It's like kind of sticking it to them to be like, man, the audience has hurt me so many times. Like, I'd love to see a comedian do it to them.
Absolutely. It's that sort of Andy Kaufman-esque style of like not actually having jokes, but like the joke is on the audience sort of thing, which like in retrospect is funny. And like looking back at like Kaufman's career is funny. But like if I was in the room having paid to watch Andy Kaufman read The Great Gatsby for a fucking hour, I definitely would have been. I probably would have been pissed.
I would not be like, this guy's brilliant.
Yeah, exactly.
How can I pay for it?
Yeah. Again,
do your Elvis impersonation.
Precisely.
Taxi.
Yeah. Yeah. Give me some vodka.
Right?
Last bachelor party I planned was the toughest of all of them because my friend who was getting married, he is gay. That's not the problem. The problem was me and all of his other friends, we were all straight. We were the problem. Because of us, I just wasn't sure what kind of entertainment I was supposed to arrange. I asked a female friend of mine for some advice. She was like, oh, maybe you can plan like a scavenger hunt. He's not that gay. No, we're gonna need a male stripper. It just has to be the right male stripper. You know, I'm thinking 7 to 10 inches of dick. That's gonna make all the straight guys sad. But 11 inches and up, I mean, that's exciting for everybody, you know? That crosses the line from stripper to medical curiosity. You don't gotta dance. How would you have a Q&A?
Delivery on that line? Curiosity.
Yeah, exactly. Just that stilted pronunciation of a single word.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time with it. Not a hard time with it, but his like stage presence and persona, the way he delivers his bits, seems to like fluctuate. Where I'm seeing him as more of like an homage to other comedians. Like he's definitely like a solid joke writer, but I'm getting a little sprinkles of like, or maybe overtones of Dave Attell, a little Mitch Hedberg in there. Yeah, and definitely some others, but I'm having a hard time like finding the Louis Katz delivery, or maybe it's just more of like a writer than a performer. Hate to say that.
Yeah, that could very well be possible. Like in the hands of a more specific personality, these jokes might come through a little bit better. But like him being the best comedian we've never heard of, I think is detrimental. But like I think, like we've talked about before,
Makes you cross your arms a bit.
Yeah,
when you're putting that in your own special, where you're like, really? Okay.
Jesus Christ. The crossing the arms thing pisses me off. That's like comedy insecurity is I guess I have one specific example where you and I actually went to a comedy club together here in LA, and I was just done drinking and enjoying the show, but I had my arms crossed because I was enjoying it, and like it took me like 2 or 3 comedian sets to realize that they were all completely distracted by the fact that my arms were crossed, even though I was enjoying the show. Like it's just one of those things that's like, yeah, like that can be a thing, but like that's not, that body language is not always indicative of what you think it is. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean they're disapproving of the show. It doesn't, could just mean they're done drinking like I was. But it also is just one of those things where like it tends to like, they get obsessive about it. They get so distracted about it because it's like one of these things that's told in comedy circles, like crossing your arms is like such a taboo in the comedy world that like they can't get past it, unfortunately. But yeah, that's a whole other fucking rant, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, their arms are crossed. How are they going to slap their knees?
Oh, Jesus.
For all the funny jokes, right?
What is this,
That's
fucking
what they're
hee-haw?
thinking.
Yeah.
I've got some questions. Like, what's it like having sex with part of it on the outside? Huh? What's that like? You ever catch a breeze on your dick neck, get chilly? Use a scrunchie like the world's smallest infinity scarf? You ever tuck it between your legs and pee backwards while walking forwards? Huh? You ever do that? That's what I would do, man. Big dick be wasted on me. I'd use it for parlor tricks.
Laughter too, as well.
Yeah, it's just that awkward laughter though. It's that making the audience uncomfortable shit again. Yeah, I don't know. If I wanted to feel awkward, I'd go out in public. Like I don't. Awkward comedy is just something that rubs me the wrong way in general. It's why I don't like Wes Anderson movies. I mean, it's I don't think awkwardness is a joke in and of itself, or that feeling, conveying that feeling of awkwardness is. So yeah, this kind of stuff like. I don't necessarily have a problem with, raunchy comedy. Like, I do think there's a severe lack of pushing the envelope these days, and everything got so tame over the last few years that this sort of stuff is definitely needed. But yeah, unfortunately, it's just not quite working for me here.
Agreed.
Whatnot.
Yep, the water pause.
3 waters.
I really thought I'd
big
be
waters.
married by now, but I am not. Whatever, it's okay. I'm not trying to worry about that. Really, what I'm trying to do now is just focus on living in the present. That's what everyone says is the key to happiness. You just gotta be in the present. We're working really hard on living in the present. So far, not a fan. I don't like the present. I think the present is vastly overrated. You know, the only time I really like living now in the present was back when I was younger and living in the past. Because back then it wasn't the present, it was the future. And the future of my past was way better than the present that future became. Look, all I'm saying is if you made a ranking of the greatest times of all time, number 1, future, 'cause so much potential, anything's possible. Number 2, past, because that's when you got the most future. And number 3, dead last, the present. Fucking sucks.
Yeah, it has the structure and the writing of a good joke. The performance just doesn't feel like it matches what's going, like it. That's a joke that almost needs to come from like a much more soft, bubbly sort of, I don't know, vulnerable person. Like he seems like too angry to be telling that joke.
I feel like there's also just too many setups before getting into the present, because like he didn't need the like I'm not married, and then I couldn't follow the train of thought like into the like when's the premise going to start on this one, or it's like, oh, is it going to be about like why he's not married yet? But then it's because he's not living in the present. Like I didn't make those connections, but then ranking times like that I thought was pretty fun bit, but I feel like there was not enough, like it didn't get to that fast enough. For me.
Yeah, no, it's too many setups and not enough payoffs yet. Maybe he will pay it off when we start again here, but that like wordplay stuff of the present of your past is your future or whatever. Like it was again well constructed, but it just I think it got convoluted in everything else, and like you're still thinking about 2 jokes ago trying to figure out what the fuck he's talking about.
Here, I'll prove it to you. Let's think back before the show, when you're living in the future. You're like, oh man, I bet this show's gonna be pretty good. After the show's over, you'll be living in the past, forget this part, be like, man, that show wasn't bad at all. But right now in the present, most of you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Very true. Yes.
Observational.
Oh man. The only way I'm living in the present is if it starts living up to the potential I had in my younger days. And hopefully this special will make that happen, man. I got a lot riding on this. I hope it goes good. Thank you. Seriously, I've been working on so many jokes for this thing, but the thing is, these days, people don't want a special that's just jokes. It has to be more than jokes if it's to be considered a real work of art. You know what people like from a special? They like a special where like the comedian like bears their soul, you know, reveals their inner demons. And you know they're about to do it because the camera starts coming in real tight. And all of a sudden their voice changes. They sound like a total different comedian. Right? All of a sudden it doesn't sound like a comedy show. It sounds like you're listening to a story on NPR about how a man with no limbs learned to write opera with his eyebrows. Unfortunately, I'm not that kind of comedian. I don't know, I'm in therapy. Does that help? Is that good? It took me a while to go to therapy.
I feel like there could have been something there, for sure.
Totally. There was a lot of buildup for like a throwaway payoff. Like, yeah. And he still hasn't gotten back to fucking not being married yet. Like, that was the whole setup for this whole fucking premise here. And like
the whole time thing. And then it was more about, man, I really need this special to work out. But then I was really following and hoping for more payoff on that premise, because it does seem like with a lot of stand-up specials, especially with like all the ones that Netflix was pumping out even pre-pandemic, it seemed like they had like sort of a strong like personality vibe to them, in terms of like it isn't just stand-up, it is like the personality or the experience of the stand-up that you're really selling.
What's the one-man show versus a stand-up comedy special, I think. Like,
it's kind of, more one-man showy, where it's I also don't just tell jokes, but I also don't have limbs or things like that. Like,
yeah, I mean, just like the storytelling of like, all of a sudden they start talking about their brother or their cousin or their sister, and they become that character for a little while, and it's like it's not necessarily joke based, but they're telling a story through other voices and stuff. Like, there still has to be comedy in there. Like, you still need to pump up that joke per minute. Like, fucking, like, Norm Macdonald could do, a Shaggy Dog story that took 10 minutes to actually get to the funny punchline. But along the way, there's, every 30 seconds, there's at least enough of a gag to make you chuckle or to make you think about something or to change it or twist it or something. But, like, if he was just to go up on stage and, talk about his family life for 10 minutes and then follow that with a single punchline, it's no longer stand-up comedy. Again, it's a one-man show at that point.
Just kind of scared of therapy. But you know what going to therapy is like? Going to therapy is just like watching an episode of Scooby-Doo. Yeah. Therapist is trying to solve the mystery of your haunted head. At the end of every session, they rip the mask off the monster, reveal, it was your parents the whole time. Zoinks, that'll be $200. That's got to be one of the worst parts of having kids, right? No matter how good you do, you knock it out of the park, you're still going to mess that kid up somehow. Right? My parents were great, very loving, very supportive. That's what fucked me up. Love and support, that doesn't prepare you for life. Love and support. I feel like I was training for the Special Olympics. All of a sudden I turned 18, like, oh shit, I'm in the real Olympics. Now I gotta run a marathon and all my training was hugs and piggyback rides.
Again, a well-crafted joke, but just like, am I just not on board with him at this point? Is that why I don't find it like laugh out loud funny? Like, I can sit here and analyze the structure of the joke and, that was funny. But like, it's like when comedians are analyzing or, in the audience for other comedians, oh, that's a good joke. It didn't actually, it takes a lot to make them laugh. And I feel like, it's just, I don't know. Is it me? Like,
I feel the same way, where maybe I'm checking out a little bit, but I also feel like the Special Olympics could have been a better example than that for how he was raised. I think he just used Special Olympics just because of like the edginess factor of saying that. But like training for the Special Olympics doesn't make, I don't know. For me, it didn't make sense in the bit setup, but
yeah, there's an incongruency there that like, yeah. Let's give him a little bit more.
But yeah,
time
it's like
here.
I'm nodding my head in agreement to some of the stuff he's saying, but I'm just like, there's no like twist or something coming from a place I wasn't expecting to really get the laugh out of me in the special. But
yeah,
and you can kind of they hear the audience, like it's sprinklings of laughter here and there. It's no knee slapping on this one either.
Yeah. Let's give him a little more.
That stopped me from going to therapy for a long time. I thought it was too much of a Jewish stereotype. I'm Jewish, in case you couldn't tell from the name and face. And to me, it's so stereotypical, right? A Jew in therapy. Then I go to therapy. Turns out I got a thing called Jewish guilt, which is another stereotype. So basically, I got two stereotypes for the price of one, which is a great deal and a third stereotype.
That's a good joke. I mean.
Yeah. Again, though, I think it's the performance there. Like, it feels so angry coming out of his mouth that like you almost don't feel like it's okay to laugh.
That's a good point. And I feel like even his other premise on the like the confusion of what to do for like a gay man's bachelor party was like a fun premise.
Yeah.
But I feel like even if I heard it in my head delivered by Dave Attell, like I would find it funnier with the like, what should I get? 8 or 7 inches, you know, like the way he would perform it or do it. It would just make me like, I don't know, more sold in on the bit where, yeah, maybe it's just the personality.
Absolutely. Yeah. It feels like he's like angry at his own jokes or something, like someone that would like embrace them. And like, it feels more like he's pointing out grievances than telling jokes. And like, yeah, like I feel like a Dave Attell or someone could like, you know, make you feel like this is a much more jovial sort of atmosphere. Whereas this feels almost berating.
And he's got a smile on his face in the pause clip here, but
it's an evil smile.
You anti-Semitic? Is that what this is? No.
I didn't even realize he was Jewish until he said that, but then I don't understand. I'm not a good enough racist to be able to pick things out like that. I got to work on that.
No, you don't.
Generally, I do try to avoid stereotypes in my act. It's one of the few jokes that I don't like. I find stereotype jokes offensive. Not because they're bigoted, I just think they're kind of hacky. They're played out. Right? Because you know what a stereotype really is? It's just a joke that we've all heard so many times that we all know it already. Right? You want to make a funny observation about a group, fine, but give me something new, something original. Here, let's take a random stereotype, for example. Let's say black people love fried chicken. Right? First of all, heard it before 1,000,000 times. Second of all, guess what? Everyone loves fried chicken. How about this instead? Black men over 60 love single-ear Bluetooth headsets. Not quite as catchy. I'll try to explain to all of you a little more about Jewish guilt. I'll give you a Jewish guilt.
Again, he abandons it. Like, that was a setup, not a fucking punchline. Like there was, I feel like there's just so much more to mine in each of these premises that he's setting up, and like just abandoning it and moving on to something completely different without like actually mining the comedy that's in there.
And I feel like the specificity of his first one with the single ear Bluetooth headsets, like that was so good. Like I wanted him to like rule of 3 it and have at least 2 more afterwards that would be just as bizarre and specific. Mm-hmm. Then like by that third one, he'd probably have people on his side and, you know, maybe a little bit more of an applause break because that's just a great premise of getting even more specific and interesting with your stereotypes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, like I said, all his jokes seem like they're just they could mine the premise a lot more than what he's doing.
Let's do one more.
One time I'm coming home to visit my folks. I come in, my dad's sitting on the couch. Sitting next to him on the couch is a small person crudely carved out of wood. Strange. I said, Dad, what is that? He goes, oh, that's my new son, because you don't visit me enough anymore. Instead of just asking me to visit, fucking Jew pedo over here has got me competing with...
He paused too much for that joke.
Jew pedo. We're carving a little Pinocchio doll.
Yeah, but like the putting the mic down and like preening, like waiting for the laughter to come, and it only kind of trickles in. Like it just, that shit bugs the hell out of me.
That's a good observation.
Puppet stepbrother.
The lady repeating the
puppet stepbrother, man. Doesn't seem like we're just a few years away from that being a genre on Pornhub. You know, it's weird every time I go back to visit my folks.
Fucking finish the joke, man! Jesus Christ! You had a great setup there! What the fuck? Oh my God. This guy's pissing.
I thought he was going to totally abandon it, but he is going back to like every time I visit my father, but then, yeah.
But finish that joke. You had a good setup. Like, oh man, come on.
Because they live in the same house I grew up in. That's always a trip, right? Staying in that same house, so many memories. At one point, when I was staying at that house, I found myself masturbating in the very same bathroom where I'd first masturbated many years before. when I finished, I actually said out loud, "This is where it all started." Like some kind of noir detective trying to crack the case of my wasted potential. No, I'm sure my parents really wish I had a kid by now. They want a grandkid. And at this point, I'm not sure if I want them. Having a kid would go against my no new people policy. I'm done meeting new people, baby or adult. I'm good. Aren't those the worst kind of people? New people?
Tie it together, man. Come
Oh,
on.
let me take a wild guess. You were born somewhere, and now you do something. Fucking fascinating.
Fucking tie the joke together, man. The joke, jerking
Angry
off
thinking.
where you first jerked off to go into my parents wished I had kids. Oh no, the kids are all over the floor now. What am I gonna do now? Should I get them a mop? I don't know. There's a fucking joke to be mined there. Fuck. Oh my God, this guy's pissing me off
It
now.
definitely is. I also like, tell me more about how your dad whittling small boys out of wood.
Absolutely.
Your dad sounds like a hilarious character to mine for additional like tags or bits on that routine.
And this is it's an hour stand up and it's just like setup after setup without like actually fucking, man. All right, I'm going to give him one more fucking try here, but I'm getting really pissed off at him.
Anyway, I'm just trying to be more positive in general. That's some advice I got from my therapist. I'm always trying to be more positive. Does not come naturally to me. I'm not a very positive person. I think it's part of living in a big city for a long time, right? When you live in a big city, someone who's overly positive starts to be a little bit suspicious. A certain level of politeness and niceness in a city is acceptable. Once you cross the line, it's like, hey man, what are you up to? Right? Offer me directions, fine, but hey, I'm going that way. I'll walk with you. No, you won't. Someone who's overly nice like that means one of two things to me. Either used to be way into drugs or currently way into God. Either way, I don't want to go to your meetings.
Preening with the mic down.
Right.
Religious people are
I'm
always
noticing
super
that now.
positive, man. They have good reason to be so positive, because anything bad happens and you're religious, you're like, hey, that's fine. It's all part of God's plan. I'm looking around at all the crazy stuff happening in the world. I'm like, man, I'm starting to think God, not the best at making plans. Right? Typical creative type, kind of all over the place.
Kind of like you, bro.
Right. I was
You
just
want
like, be
proof
like
that
the
God's not good at making
tag for this.
plans? How about the fact that God always wants to meet up early on a Sunday? Right? And you always got to go to God's house.
I thought he was Jewish.
He said he was.
Well, yeah, but Sunday's not the Jewish thing. Whatever.
If God was really good at making plans, God would be like, hear me now, for I am the Lord. Man, you were tore up last night. Look, just text me when you get up. I'm going to go over to your place. I'm going to make you an omelet and some mimosas. Be like, oh man,
Also,
thank God.
like how the hand over the mic did nothing to change the sound. To
Absolutely.
Make it like
Yeah.
I feel like this is a sort of like COVID constipation, where he had a lot of jokes he wanted to test out and wasn't able to expand on because of COVID. So
And just
maybe
went right
that's
to the
why
special.
he's just it's like, I just got this whole bunch of them and like it fits an hour, but maybe he's missed the opportunity to like workshop all these bits and expand them in clubs because of COVID. And so now it's just a lot of like premises that like still have a lot of meat on the bone.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, that makes absolute sense. He started out by talking about how I don't know when this show actually was, but it seems like it was one of the first things after lockdown. So, yeah, it seems like a lot of pent up, untested material that's just abandoned way too quickly and still not totally formed. So many good setups and premises, but just refuses to pay them off. Maybe that's why fucking he's a comedian's comedian. Maybe it's just that that anger of anticipation of not actually paying off all of these setups that they get off on or something. But making people like me angry in the crowd is I guess a fetish to some of these folks. But
Well, that alone was worth it to me for picking that one. So that's why I enjoyed that comic. Just for the reaction. But yeah, I think let's maybe move on and try something a little different. See if we get some payoff with our next comic here, Preacher Lawson. This is another comic I know nothing about. Have you heard of Preacher Lawson? Apparently,
I feel like that'd be a name that would stand out in my head if I had.
If you had seen him, I guess he was known for his appearance on season 12 of America's Got Talent, the NBC hit series.
Right on.
So I normally don't love comics that end up on America's Got Talent because it's like America's Got stand-ups as well. Like, I guess it's a talent. I mean, not to downplay it, but and he's also. Well, got a lot of America's Got Talent action going on, so I imagine it's going to be a lot more like TV, family-friendly kind of comedy. But I figure, it's got a full special available on YouTube, so I'm interested to give it a shot. So let's jump into Preacher Lawson.
Wow! Hey, what's up? Hey, this is cool. Why'd y'all stop? I was liking that. That was really cool, man. That was awesome, man. But this is my second special. Thank you so much for coming out. Wow. Isn't that cool? And my mom brought me out for my second special, man. All right, that's cool, man. That's how many people bring their mom with them on the road to do comedy, right? That's so cool, and it's cheaper. So I'm gonna keep doing it, man. I love her. That's my favorite mom. She top 3. She up there, you know. Yeah. And my mom bring me out and sponsored, because my mom, I decided to wear her pants. You know what I mean? I did not know these were going to be this tight, bro. Jesus. I can't even, this is all, I can't bend my knees. You notice?
Like first comment
you know,
was
the
on
whole times I haven't been my knees.
Mentioned it.
She was there when I first went on stage. Man, the first time I ever went on stage, I was 17 years old. I was at the University of Memphis. And I was so scared to go on stage, they called the next person. They were like, all right, give it up for Preacher Lawson. Preacher Lawson, is he not here? Okay, we'll just call the next person. And my mom was in the back. Nope, he right here. Get on stage, boy. You ain't gonna waste my gas money. Here we go. And then I went on stage right after that. So my mom is awesome, man. She's really cool. And we was on tour together. We went to Europe, so that was pretty cool. We went to Europe. Yeah, that's cool. Y'all been to Europe? We was in London, bruv. London. London, eh? All right, that was really bad. I know it's trash. I know. I don't know how to do that. I don't know. They do bad accents of Americans. Have you ever asked someone from London to do an American accent? It's so bad, right? Like, hey, do an American. You know what they do every time? I'm from America. Every time.
Yeah, already this feels so much better. Like this is, he hasn't even really gotten into any jokes, but just the energy, the stage presence. It is much more, real polished stand up as opposed to the last two we've seen.
Totally, yeah. He's bringing people in, talking about his mom, so he's just getting people on his side already. Like, referencing like his outfit, like. To something I saw like Rory Scovel do in one of his stand-up specials, where he'll just kind of try to guess what the audience is thinking. It's just like, yeah, I get it. My jacket is a problem for a lot of people, and it just gets so much of that like pressure off.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
So, I just sort of jokingly commented on his pants being tight, just because I also got that back shot of him. They're just like zooming right in on his butt, and so it's like, okay, like he's gonna have to mention that because like normally you don't want your clothing to be like stealing the focus from your comedy. So the fact that he referenced it or like, made reference to it right off the bat, I'm like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing for sure.
Yeah. And the mom voice was definitely helpful. Like it's not even much different than his voice, but it's just more of a presence to it that, or a tonality that was, at least separating characters and kind of like, I assume setting up a larger payoff later, but or at least like a sort of the Gaffigan running sort of thing. But
we'll see if she keeps making appearances.
I assume
a character act out.
As much as he's talked about her, like to just abandon the premise of the mom at this point would be infuriating.
Then the second one is like, I'm American, right? Then the third one is yo, my man. I wonder what race he is. They just assume all black people in America sound like DMX. Like, what? Come on, America in the building. Let me where my dogs at. Like, I can't sound that aggressive. I'm ticklish. There's no way I can. You can't even hug me too fast. I just slip out. It sucks. I'm a grown man. Gucci Gucci Goo is my kryptonite. You know how bad that sucks? And I love.
Again, that presence, the confidence on stage, the barreling through the laughter, the having enough material and jokes to keep that energy going and not have to rely on the audience reaction in order to propel things forward or waiting for the audience. It just, I realize there's different styles of comedy and, there's different ways to perform, but, these are the sort of things that just sort of scream professional and lots of mic time to me.
Absolutely. Yeah, that mic is not leaving the vicinity of his mouth, even for the laugh lines.
Yep, no preening, mic down bullshit. Yep. I don't even think he's got water on that stage, man.
I love, it's my jam, man. You ever hug someone that's not a hugger, though, and then like halfway through the hug, they try to slide out the hug?
Immediately see
God damn it. Just gotta prove me wrong.
Love, I'm melted, I just follow them down. I'm like, we already here now, baby. We already here. You're gonna love me. No. That's how I feel when I like hug puppies. Yeah.
I could see why he needs water. It's like, I don't see why Louis Katz needed 3 giant-sized waters for his performance, unless he has some sort of medical condition.
Jesus. It's an excellent one. There was so much water on that stage.
And he's not doing anything physical. It's like 1, I think, would have lasted the entire hour, but 3 of that size for that level of energy.
Yeah.
Unnecessary hydration.
Well, it seems like a crutch. Yeah. It's just, I need something to go to when I need to regroup or rethink about, where I'm going to go from here or whatever it is. But yeah, so far he hasn't gone for the water. So we'll give him credit there.
You ever like an animal or kitten, they try to get out? You're like, trust me, this is great. You'll love me. Give me a second. That's how I feel.
His accents are great.
Yeah, great physical comedy. Like it's energy based, but there's also structure to the joke, and there's also like it's kind of firing on all cylinders. Like he's got the actual written joke, but he's got the presence and the physicality to sell it each time.
I like animals. Yeah, man, it's really cool to be here, and it's cool to do my second special. This is awesome. It's awesome.
Do you think Preacher is actually his first name?
I would think so.
It's not a title.
I don't think he's an actual pastor. It would have shown up on his bio or something.
Scrolling. Yeah.
I got this from his actual website. And also, yeah, can we go full screen on this one? Because I need to plug in my computer while this is playing.
Right on.
So I'm going to leave frame for just a second.
You have fun.
I don't want my computer to die.
I look different from my first special. I look different. I grew my hair out a little bit. I don't know if y'all noticed anything. You notice anything? Let me know if you notice anything. It's my favorite thing to do in the world, man.
You're missing the great physical jokes.
Damn it. I'm back.
On that. Sometimes I fake like someone said my name so I can do it. I'm like, who called me over here, huh? Which one of y'all said my name? I love it. I feel like Little Mermaid when she came out the water. Look at my hair, isn't it neat? I love it. When I had short hair, I used to wash my own hair. Now that I got long hair, when they get it done, they get them fingers in my hair and they start scratching my scalp, and I'm like, oh snap! That's why them dogs be kicking. It feels so good.
That's leg of it. That's so good.
I grew it out during quarantine. Remember that?
And the editing is good enough to know when to go back out to that wide shot. Like that joke, most of this is playing in that medium shot, but that joke needs to be in that wide shot in order to work. And I mean, obviously, you can.
That's a good point.
The presentation of the stand-up to me is almost as important as the stand-up itself. Obviously, you can do, good routines and good jokes and have a good set in a sort of one camera location in a dark, dank bar. But understanding where the camera needs to be is sort of that next step in high level production of stand up. And, you know, that's, I think, where a lot of like the YouTube stand-ups fall flat is they're, you know, missing that element of basically film directing, essentially.
Yeah, because that wouldn't work in a close or a tight shot. Miss a lot of that laugh line, but it is such a good physicality, and the way they caught it with that wide shot got way more of a laugh because it looks hilarious.
Indeed.
I don't know. I'm going around. America does indeed have talent.
Legal to touch people? That was a threat, touching somebody. What you say? I'll hug your whole family, cuz. It was a threat, right? People were dying from drive-by high fives. Look at us now. We feel great, right? I got my booster shot last year. I didn't want to, but they're like, we're not going to pay you. And I'm like, where are you trying to put it, though? You know what I'm saying? Come on. They gave it to too many white people. It's got to be safe. You know, so I did it. And I feel good. Not good like, ooh, my powers are kicking in, you know. I just think I'm not gonna die, but I'm pretty healthy. I wasn't gonna die before. I know I say that, and some people get mad at me. They're like, you shouldn't say that. I know people as healthy as you, and they still died. You know how I know they weren't as healthy as me? They died. So I've never died in my life, undefeated. How you gonna tell me? I don't even think I can die. I'm a vegan, you know what I mean? Name one vegan that's died. You can't, because we don't. We just turn the trees, you know? I'm Groot. You know, he's just a vegan, so. But yeah, man, I grew it out. I like my hair, man. I like it. Some people don't like it, and they tell me, which I think is weird. Like, people feel mad comfortable telling me that they don't like my hair. Like, they'll be like, oh, I liked your hair when it was shorter. I'm like, all right, well, it's not, so. I don't know why you're telling me this, man. Some people don't recognize me with my hair. They'll see me and they'll be like, is that Preacher? But they don't know for sure. And they don't want to walk over and be like, hey, Preacher. And I'm like, another black dude. And they're like, oh my God, I'm nothing. Right? So some people they go up and whisper my name, which is the creepiest thing. Why you whispering my name? I'll be chilling in Walgreens, minding my own business out of nowhere. Preacher Lawson. I'm like, which one of y'all said that? Who said my name? Don't whisper my name, that's weird. Like, it's weird to whisper in general. Think about it. Unless you're trying to be sexy, you telling a secret or being racist, you should not be whispering. It's weird, like homeless people know to project.
Just the perfect amount of pause there. Like, enough to let you know that you should be laughing at that, but not enough to be awkward or waiting for the laughter.
Absolutely, and a great, like, real quick rule of three, like, in terms of, like, the whispering as well, like, whether you're being sexy, telling a secret, or being racist, and then boom,
exactly,
as you said, right into the next bit.
There's a reason that structure works. Like, or I should say, there's a reason that structure is used, is because it fucking works. Like, it is a tried and true setup, you know, whatever.
Come on, man. Let me get $1. Trying to borrow $1. You never see a homeless person just walk up to you. Let me get $1. I want to borrow $1 so bad. I want to borrow. Mama say, mama say, mama say.
Rule of three again.
Sir, I don't know why. I don't know why he did Michael Jackson lyrics. You know what Michael Jackson's saying in that song? He's saying, I'm going to say it one more time, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to say it one more time, I'm not going to stop. That's what he's saying. Someone ruined it for me. I'm ruining it for everybody, all right? I was mad, too. I was like, what? But all of y'all for years, mama say, mom stop. Mama say. Those aren't words, bro. No one said that in life. Keep on playing, I'm going to mock you, son. That's not a thing. People just believe anything they hear, man. Someone told me it was African. I was like, all right, mama say, mama say. I just went along with it. I was like, look at me, I'm bilingual. Mama say, mama. I just went along with it. That's not true. People believe anything they hear. And I know that for a fact because some of y'all believe me just now. And I lied. I made that up, man. I lied. Yeah, I lied. I lie all the time. I'm not even black. Check it out. My name is Jerry. No, I'm black. I'm black. That'd be funny, though, if I did that. I've been black the whole time. I did do...
Yeah. Great. Hey, fuck, man. Let the man cook.
I did like a 23andMe and said I was 13% Irish. I was like, what? Where'd that come from? Are you serious? That's weird, you know? I do lie. I do, but I'm not a liar. Okay, I do regular lies. You know, I'll say stuff like "on my way," or if I'm on a plane in emergency exit row and the flight attendant's like, "Hey, are you willing and able to sacrifice your life for a bunch of strangers?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm lying. I'm lying. I just want to do this. I'm not about to sacrifice nothing. I want leg room. I'm not about to sit all the way in the back. People scooting their booty past my neck. Excuse me, sorry. I'm so sorry. I just got to get the row. 87. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Why you need those
did
pants?
I pass it? Okay, here I go. Here's my booty again, stranger.
Jesus. The director's really getting into it. All right.
Yeah, that's well, you know, you got to put some out there for the ladies, I guess, or the gentlemen that are into that.
You ever come back from the restroom on a plane and someone's going to the restroom and you're like, oh, there's no room at all. Like, somebody about to take it to the face. I don't know which side I'm gonna give them, but didn't you skip me a line earlier? You know, you gotta pick and choose who you do it to. But yeah, man, planes are weird, man. They got like, I don't understand
Audience
why.
reaction shot was killing me. It looks like a woman just passed out.
It's always weird to go to the audience reaction and there's no reaction. Like, they're all just kind of
like she was taking a quick break, like, oh.
but everyone around her was just kind of dead, stone, silent. Like, I don't know. Like, this man deserves good audience reaction shots. Like, there are plenty of times when that entire crowd was laughing and they chose that moment to fucking go to a reaction.
Absolutely. They could have maybe gotten a couple reactions, like in between, like butt shots. But,
Yeah.
Because that's when
the
you know
butt shots
people
would have been a great time to do that.
Because that's when there would have been some knee slapping on that.
Yeah. I assume, yeah, it's energetic. It's funny. It's also slightly sexualized and titillizing to some. So there's got to be, you know, some sort of things to pull out there. But yeah, but you know, obviously,
The ladies, the fellows, and the algorithms.
indeed.
Perhaps.
Seats have flotation devices. Like, all of them have flotation devices, but not parachutes, right? Because we're flying over mostly not water. So why are these, they just have flotation devices. I'm bringing a parachute. Next time I go on the plane, I'm bringing another bag. They're like, why you got another bag? Don't worry about me, player. Don't worry about me. People gonna start freaking out. It's turbulence. It's turbulence. They gonna look at me. Why aren't you freaking out? I'm like, don't worry about why I'm not freaking out. Where's Mercy X row? Is it over here? Let me see where's the Mercy at.
No, overdid it. Even the audience is like, we get it. You got a funny butt move.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a lot of ass in there. We understand.
Yeah, you just got to milk that one too many times.
Well, you don't buy pants like that to not show off the ass. So, you know.
That's true.
Yeah. But
Amen.
I think we'll leave him wanting more there. So you guys can go check out the rest of his stand-up. Links down below in the little thing and whatnot. But again, at least we got one good comedian in today, or one, you know, that I didn't fucking hate or start yelling at. So, I mean, again,
Yeah, my perception of which ones I thought I was gonna like versus ones I thought I would dislike was completely different. Like, I was biased from seeing Preacher, his bio mentioning America's Got Talent. I'm like, does America got standards though? So I thought maybe that would be my least favorite of the bunch, but ended up being, I would say, my favorite for this
he
episode.
also seems like a wide appeal sort of comedian, like something that would play
Absolutely.
well on America's Got Talent, but also just has the chops. Like he's got the presence, he's got the physicality, he's got the confidence and solid joke writing. Like it's all there. Like and the other two seem to be missing key elements there.
Yeah, either missing the performance aspect, or maybe just missing the connection with some of the premises on the first comedian, just missing our demographic. Who knows? But
yeah.
But no, I'll be keeping an eye on all three of those comics, but I'll definitely go back and probably watch more or finish up Preacher's special. Just was enjoying that.
Yeah, report back. Let us know if it just falls off a cliff after the first 10 minutes there.
Yeah, I'll let you know how many more times he works in a butt wiggle as part of the punchline. But
he just pulls up a chair and sits for the rest of the thing and just tells depressing jokes about going to therapy or something.
Just twerks out the entire rest of the set.
Kick it! Although that worked for Bernie Mac, so
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man. Oh, this has been fun. Thank you all for joining us again. If you do have any, comedians or specials that you think we should be checking out, please let us know in the comments below. And definitely do check out these comedians. Like Sean said, links in the description.
Yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all the bells and the whistles and the whatnots. Let us know where we suck. I mean, we're not above review, I guess, if you got this far. According to
you made it this far.
According to the algo, none of you have made it this far. So we'll see if anyone actually does.
We can say whatever we want at this stage. We don't even have to have any sort of closing quip or anything, which we really do need to work on.
I could really refine my racism and just go off on a rant.
I'll just turn my camera off and make sure you don't put my name on here.
Oh, speaking of which, there you go.
Damn it.
Right on. Screw y'all. We'll see
now we
you
know who to hate.
Exactly. Send all your hateful emails to Matthew Ballek. Oh.
Stand up.